Chapter 15. A Strike for Liberty. The next day the Earl came to look at us. He was very pleased with our appearance. Mr. York told him what John had said about us. "Well, from what my friend Mr. Gordon has told me," he said, "both of these horses have a very fine character. They will do very well in the carriage, I think. Pay close attention to the mare and tighten the check rein only slightly at first. They will get used to it by degrees." Ginger and I were hitched to the carriage that afternoon. We had to wear the check rein, but it didn't seem too tight. We were led around to the front of the horse house, which was very large and very fancy. Two footmen were standing there with red breeches and white stockings. Soon we heard silk rustling. The mistress had come down the flight of stone steps. She came around to look at us and seemed displeased, but she said nothing and got in the carriage. The next day, we were again taken to her door. This time she came down the steps and spoke harshly to Mr. York. "York, you must put those horses' heads higher. They look terrible." "I beg your pardon, my lady," York replied, "but these horses have not reined up for 3 years. My lord said it would be safer to get used to it a little at a time. If your ladyship wishes, I can take them up a little more." "Do so," she said. That day we had a steep hill to climb. I began to understand why a check rein is so bad. I could not pull the carriage with all my strength because I could not lower my head. If I tried, the horse bit cut into my mouth. Day by day our reins were shortened. Instead of looking forward to wearing my harness and pulling the carriage, I dreaded it. Now I could better see how Ginger's temper had been spoiled. I thought the reins couldn't possibly go any shorter. Then, one day, our mistress came down the steps and ordered Mr. York to get our heads all the way up. He got down from the carriage and came around to me. The rein was shortened so much that I thought I could not possibly bear it. Then he went over to Ginger, but she knew what was coming. As soon as Mr. York took the rein off her to shorten it, she reared up. She hit his nose and knocked off his hat, then continued to rear kick. I was let loose and taken from the carriage to the stables, but not before being kicked. Later, Ginger was led in by 2 grooms. We were both bruised. When the Earl found out about the incident, he was very upset. He decided not to have Ginger put in the carriage again. One of his younger sons thought she would make a good hunting horse, so Ginger was given him to ride. I began pulling the carriage with a black horse named Max, who was used to the check rein. He told me that the check rein would surely shorten our lives. It just made our work too difficult to bear. It was true. Every day we came home feeling worn out, and no one did anything to relieve us of it. Unlike at Birchwick, I felt that I didn't have one friend among these people.